Let me hit you with a number, real quick. 955美元. That is it. That is the median retirement savings of the American worker right now in 2026. Not 1,000. Not $5,000. $955. That is from the National Institute on Retirement Security, published just 2 months ago, February 2026. That is the number that sits at the exact middle of the entire American workforce. Now, you might be watching this and thinking, okay, that has got to be people who are broke, people who never made any money, people who are really struggling financially. But here is the thing that nobody is talking about. That number includes the middle class, the people who make decent money, the people who drive a nice car, take a vacation once a year, live in a house in the suburbs, the people who, on paper, look like they've got it figured out. And this isn't just a broke people problem. This is a you problem. If you are earning somewhere between $50,000 and $120,000 a year, if you feel like you're doing okay, but not getting ahead, if you look at your retirement account and feel a quiet panic that you just push down and ignore, this video is specifically for you, because here is what I'm going to show you today. The middle class is uniquely, specifically, dangerously trapped when it comes to retirement. Not the poor, not the rich, the middle. And the system is designed in a way that makes it almost impossible for you to see the problem coming until it is already too late. We're going to break down exactly how this trap works, what the numbers actually look like when you run them. Honestly, what the government's retirement promises are actually worth, and, most importantly, what you can realistically do about it before the window closes. So stay with me on this, because what I'm about to show you is not doom and gloom. It is clarity, and clarity is worth more than anything. Let's start with the big picture, because I think a lot of people watching this genuinely believe they are on track, and I don't blame you. You've been told your whole life that if you work hard, save a little, and just don't be stupid with money, you'll be fine. But the goalposts have moved dramatically, and the speed at which they're moving is accelerating. Northwestern Mutual, one of the largest financial services companies in the country, publishes a major annual planning study every year, and what they just released in April 2026, literally this month, is wild. They surveyed 4,375 Americans and asked them, how much do you think you need to retire comfortably? The answer, $1.46 million. Let that breathe for a second. $1.46 million. That is up 13.6% from last year. Number of $1.26 million. In one single year, the perceived retirement target jumped by $200,000. $200,000 in a year. The same people who thought they needed $1.26 million last year now think they need $1.46 million. That is not a rounding error. That is panic setting in as people start doing the math and realizing the numbers don't add up. Now, what is actually sitting in the average American? 401k. According to Fidelity, the average 401k balance across all accounts at the end of 2025 was $146,400. The median. Remember, the median is the more honest number, because the average gets pulled up by the ultra-wealthy, is about $87,000, so people think they need $1.46 million. They have, on average, somewhere between $87,000 and $146,000. That is a gap of over $1.3 million. And for most middle-class workers, that gap is not closing, it is widening. Now let's get specific by age group, because this is where it gets real. If you are in your 30s right now, the average 401k balance is around $50,000 to $60,000, depending on which data set you use. That sounds okay for your 30s, right? Some of you are nodding. But if you are 35 and you have $55,000 saved, financial planners will tell you that you should have roughly twice your annual salary saved by age 35. If you make $80,000 a year, you should have $160,000 Most people in their 30s are at half that. Maybe less, if you are in your 40s. The average is around $130,000 to $140,000. The rule of thumb says you should have 3 times your salary. On $80K, that is $240,000. Again, most people are short, significantly short, and if you are in your 50s, this is where it gets genuinely alarming. The NEAR study from February 2026 found that workers aged 55 to 64, the people who are supposed to be in the final stretch of accumulation, the people who should be dialing in their retirement plan, have only accumulated 19% of their targeted retirement savings. Not 50%, not 70%, 19%, 1 in 5 of what they need, with 10 years left on the clock. And yet, these people look fine from the outside. They've got the house, the kids in college, maybe 2 cars. They're the middle class. They look successful, and they are running out of time in a way that most of them haven't fully processed yet. Here is the part people never explain properly. Why is it specifically the middle class that gets destroyed by this? Why are wealthy people fine? And why do lower income people at least have some social safety nets, while the middle class gets left hanging? It comes down to 3 specific traps, and I want to walk through each one carefully. Trap number 1, lifestyle inflation. When you start earning decent money, life gets expensive, not because you're buying yachts, but because you're buying normalcy, a house in a decent neighborhood, a reliable car, private school, or a house in a district with good public schools, vacations, nice restaurants occasionally, your kids' activities. These aren't luxuries. They feel like the floor of a middle-class life. But here is the problem. Every dollar you spend on lifestyle is a dollar not compounding toward retirement, and compound interest is brutally unforgiving. A dollar you invest at age 30 is worth roughly $16 by the time you are 65, assuming a 7% average annual return. A dollar you spend on a car payment at 30 is just gone, and the car you buy is worth less every single year. A 2025 report from New Trader U called this out directly. The middle class is falling into the lifestyle creep trap. Oversized housing, bigger car payments, subscription overload, buy now pay later debt. Real wages adjusted for inflation have grown less than 0.5% annually over the past decade, while cost of living has risen far faster. So you feel like you're earning more, but you're not actually getting ahead in real terms. Trap number 2, the middle class tax squeeze. This one doesn't get nearly enough attention. The wealthy have access to tax structures, trusts, LLCs, depreciation strategies, carried interest, that the middle class simply cannot access, and lower income earners pay relatively low effective tax rates and qualify for earned income credits, child tax credits, and other benefits. But the middle class, you earn too much to qualify for most government assistance. You don't earn enough to access the sophisticated tax strategies. You're in the squeeze zone. You pay full income tax. You pay full FICA taxes. Your money gets taxed when you earn it, taxed again as you invest it, if it is in a taxable account, and then taxed again when you withdraw it in retirement from a traditional 401k or IRA. Meanwhile, only about 52% of middle-class households are even putting money into a savings account at all, according to the American Council of Life Insurers, published in January 2026. And in early 2026, 1 in 4 full-time workers actually cut their retirement contribution rate. According to a March 2026 CBS News report, the average contribution rate dropped from 9.2% to 8.9%. Not a huge number in isolation, but the trend it represents is deeply concerning. People are pulling back at exactly the moment they should be pushing forward. Trap number 3, the Social Security Mirage. This is the big one, and I want to be very direct with you about this. because a lot of people's entire retirement plan is essentially, I'll have Social Security. And there is a ticking clock on that plan that people are not taking seriously enough. The 2025 Social Security Trustees report, published by the actual government's own actuaries, said plainly, if Congress does not act, the Social Security Trust Fund will be depleted by 2033. That is 7 years from now. And when it is depleted, benefits will be automatically cut by 23%. Some projections are even more aggressive. An August 2025 analysis from a committee of fiscal economists suggested the insolvency could hit as early as late 2032, with cuts potentially reaching 24%, partly because of policy changes under the current administration that are affecting revenue flows into the fund. Now, let's translate that into actual dollars. The average Social Security benefit right now for a retired worker is about $1,900 a month. A 23% cut brings that to about $1,463 a month. That is $437 less per month. $5,244 less per year for a couple. That is potentially over $10,000 a year gone. And the COLA, the cost of living adjustment, is currently set at 2.8% for 2026. That sounds like something. But with healthcare inflation, housing costs and grocery prices still running hot, that 2.8% doesn't even come close to keeping pace with what retirees are actually experiencing in their day-to-day lives. A Kiplinger report from April 2026, this month, said that more Americans are afraid of going broke in retirement than they are afraid of dying. Let that sink in. People would rather face death than face financial ruin in their final years. And inflation, taxes, and Social Security uncertainty are the top 3 reasons why. Let's get off the abstract and get into the actual cost reality of retirement. Because I think most people have a version of retirement in their head that doesn't match what retirement actually costs. You've got your house, your mortgage is paid off, your kids are out, you're living on less. That is the assumption. But here is what the data actually shows. Healthcare. A 65-year-old couple retiring today will spend, on average, over $300,000 on healthcare costs over the course of their retirement. That is not long-term care. That is just standard Medicare premiums, copays, prescriptions, and out-of-pocket expenses. Healthcare inflation is rising faster than general inflation, faster than the COLA, and faster than most people's investment returns. The Davidson report from March 2026 found that only 16% of Americans feel knowledgeable about what healthcare will actually cost them in retirement. 84% of people are going into retirement essentially blind on one of their largest expenses, housing. Many people assume their house is paid off, but property taxes keep going up. Maintenance on an older home is substantial, and if you're in a state with rising insurance costs, which is most states right now, your homeowner's insurance can be brutal. Some retirees in coastal Florida or Texas are seeing insurance costs of $10,000 to $20,000 a year on their homes. That alone can blow up a retirement budget. Longevity risk. This is the one nobody wants to talk about. People are living longer. If you retire at 65 and live to 90, which is increasingly common, you need 25 years of income. If inflation averages even 3% annually over those 25 years, your purchasing power is cut roughly in half by year 23. The money that felt like enough at 65 feels completely different at 82. The median cost for independent living in 2026 is $3,065 per month. According to seniorliving.org, that is $36,780 a year, just for housing. No care required. If you need assisted living or any level of in-home care, you are looking at $4,500 to $8,000 a month in most markets. That is $54,000 to $96,000 per year, on a retirement nest egg of $87,000. The median, that money is gone in under 2 years. Now let's run an honest retirement calculation. For the average middle-class worker, let's take someone who earns $80,000 a year. They want to replace 80% of their income in retirement, which is the standard financial planning benchmark. That is $64,000 a year under the 4% rule, which is the standard safe withdrawal rate. To generate $64,000 a year, you need $1.6 million in retirement savings. The average person earning $80K a year has, if they've been diligent, maybe $300,000 to $400,000 saved by their mid-60s. With Social Security, maybe they add $20,000 to $25,000 a year, but that is before the potential 23% cut in 2033. The math doesn't work. It is not close to working, and the scary part is that millions of people have not sat down and done this calculation. Honestly, they're operating on vibes and hope, and neither of those things compounds. Okay, so if the situation is this bad and the numbers are this clear, why aren't people doing something about it? Because this is not an information problem. People have access to all of this data. Why are 1 in 4 full-time workers actually cutting their retirement contributions right now? A few reasons. And I think being honest about the psychology here is actually one of the most useful things I can do in this video. First, present bias. The human brain is wired to prioritize what is happening now over what is going to happen in 30 years. Retirement is abstract. Your kid's soccer registration is due on Friday. The car needs new tires. These present-day financial pressures win every single time in the human brain. It is not a character flaw. It is neuroscience. But understanding it doesn't make it any less damaging to your future self. Second, the illusion of enough time. When you are 38 years old, retirement at 65 feels like a different lifetime. It genuinely doesn't feel urgent. But here is the brutal, mathematical reality. The money you put in at 38 is worth far more than the money you put in at 55. Every year you delay is not just a year of lost savings. It is a year of lost compound growth on everything you've already saved, multiplied out over decades. Time is the one resource in retirement savings that you cannot buy back at any price. Third, the middle-class confidence trap. This is the one that hits hardest. Middle-class earners have enough money to feel okay on a day-to-day basis. They're not in survival mode. They're not desperately poor. They can afford to ignore the problem. Poor households face financial stress daily and are sometimes forced to confront hard realities. Wealthy households have advisors who won't let them ignore it. Middle-class households, they can live comfortably in denial for 20 years, until suddenly they can't. The Harris Poll study on middle-class retirement found that, among Americans in their 20s, who are middle class, 77% are already saving for retirement. Which sounds great, but over half say they struggle to make consistent contributions. Start, stop, start again. That pattern, repeated over 30 years, is what produces $955 in median retirement savings, and nearly 1/3 of middle-class Americans aged 50 to 85 said in March 2026 that they feel less confident about their retirement than they did a year ago. Not the same, less confident, with less time left to fix it. Alright, I said at the beginning this is not a doom video, so let's get into what you can actually do. And I want to be very direct here. I'm not going to give you a fluffy list of max out your 401k and eat less avocado toast. I want to talk about the real levers that actually move the needle. Move 1. Close the gap between what you earn and what you spend permanently. This sounds obvious, But most people haven't actually quantified their retirement savings. Gap in real numbers. Sit down and do this calculation. Take your current salary, multiply it by 80%. That is your target retirement income. Divide by 4%. That is your required nest egg, using the 4% rule. Then compare that to what you have today. The number you're staring at is the size of your problem. Once it is a real number, and not a vague anxiety, you can start making real decisions. Move 2. Understand the Roth strategy and use it aggressively if you are under 50. Here is the thing about a traditional 401k. You get the tax break now, but you pay taxes on every single withdrawal. In retirement, if tax rates go up in the future, which is extremely likely given the Social Security funding crisis and federal deficit levels, that deferred tax bill could be enormous. A Roth IRA or Roth 401k means you pay taxes now on contributions, but every dollar of growth and every withdrawal in retirement is completely tax-free. For middle-class earners who are going to be in a meaningful tax bracket in retirement, this distinction could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. In 2026, the contribution limit for a Roth IRA is $7,000 per year, or $8,000 if you are over 50. That is not a massive number, but if you are 35 years old and you contribute $7,000 every year until you are 65, and you get a 7% average annual return, that Roth IRA alone is worth over $700,000 at retirement. Completely tax-free. Move 3. Stop treating your home equity as your retirement plan. I hear this constantly. My house is my retirement. And look, I understand the logic. Home values have gone up significantly. You might be sitting on $200,000 or $400,000 in equity, but equity is illiquid. You have to live somewhere. You can spend equity the way you can spend a 401k balance. A reverse mortgage is an option, but it is expensive and has serious trade-offs. Home equity can be one piece of the puzzle, but if it is the whole plan, you're in a very vulnerable position. Move 4. Get real about Social Security timing. If you are currently planning to take Social Security at 62, the earliest possible age, understand what you're giving up. Your benefit at 62 is reduced by roughly 25 to 30% compared to your full retirement age benefit. Every year you delay past full retirement age, your benefit increases by 8%. Up until age 70. If you can delay to 70, your monthly check is roughly 77% higher than if you took it at 62, on a base benefit of $1,900. That is the difference between $1,330 a month and $2,350 a month for the rest of your life. For a married couple, the strategy of having the higher earner delay as long as possible to 70 is one of the highest return financial decisions that exists. The break even point is typically around age 78 to 82, and given life expectancies, most people hit it. Move 5. Take the match. Every dollar of it, every single year. If your employer offers a 401k match, and you are not capturing the full match, I want you to understand this clearly. You are leaving free money on the table. An employer match is an immediate 50 to 100% return on your investment, which no market, no asset class, no investment strategy on earth can match. If your employer matches 50 cents on the dollar, up to 6% of your salary, and you are contributing 4% instead of 6%, you are walking away from free compensation. That is not a metaphor. That is real money that your employer is offering to give you, and you are refusing it. Move 6. Get an actual financial plan, not a product pitch. Here is the unfortunate reality. Most people who have a financial advisor have someone who is actually a product salesperson. They are licensed to sell you annuities, whole life insurance, and mutual funds with high management fees. They are not necessarily required to act in your best interest. A fee-only fiduciary advisor, someone you pay directly, who has a legal obligation to prioritize your interests, is a fundamentally different relationship. If you don't know what kind of advisor you have, ask directly. Are you a fiduciary? Do you earn commissions on the products you recommend? Their answers will tell you everything. Here is what I want to leave you with, because I think this is actually the most important part of this whole conversation. The retirement savings crisis in America is not a crisis of information. People know they should save more. It is a crisis of system design meeting human psychology in the worst possible way. You live in a consumer economy that is meticulously engineered to separate you from your money today. Advertising, easy credit, one-click purchasing, convenience fees, subscriptions you forgot about, and then, on the other end, the retirement system puts the entire burden on you, as an individual, to navigate complex tax rules, market volatility, Social Security timing decisions, and healthcare cost projections, with essentially no professional guidance, unless you can afford to pay for it. The middle class earns enough to be exposed to all of these pressures, without having enough to buffer against them, the way the wealthy can. But here is the truth. The people who make it through this, the people who actually hit retirement with financial dignity and freedom, they're not all high earners. Some of them are, but many of them are people who made average money, understood the game they were playing, and made a series of deliberate, consistent decisions over 20 or 30 years. They maxed what they could. They didn't touch the account when the market dropped. They got boring and repetitive with their financial habits, while their peers were doing exciting things with their money, and then they arrived at 65 with options that is available to you. The window may be smaller than it was 10 years ago. The target number may have moved. But if you're watching this today and you're still working, you still have time and leverage that your future self would desperately want you to use. The median American worker has $955 saved. You don't have to be that statistic, but you have to decide right now, today, that you're not going to be, because retirement doesn't care about your intentions. It only cares about your balances. If this video gave you something real to think about, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content who need to hear it. Drop a comment below, telling me where you are in your retirement journey. Are you ahead? Behind? Just starting? I read every single comment, and I'll respond to as many as I can. And if you want to go deeper on any of the specific strategies I covered today, the Roth conversion ladder, how to actually find a fiduciary advisor, the Social Security timing optimization for couples, those are all separate videos I've already put together. Links are in the description. See you in the next one.